He is a thug whose casual death at the hands of Han Solo would be a topic of fierce debate and angst among the Star Wars faithful for decades. A mid-level employee of Jabba Corp from the early years of his career until his death, he would never fully realize the potential he felt he had. Today, on Zareth Prevails, we will observe the life of Greedo and make the arbitrary decision of whether or not he was misunderstood or merely a low-talent hack who probably doesn't deserve the attention he's gotten over the years. We will also discuss Greedo's place in Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes. Greedo was born on the swamp planet of Rodea, but at an early age was moved with his family to the geographically similar desert planet of Tatooine. In a Phantom Menace belated scene, he accused Anakin of cheating to win the Boonta Eve Classic, and Anakin punched him out before Qui-Gon Jinn stopped the fight and decided to ignore the potential warning signs and instead emotionally bludgeoned the Jedi Council into embracing the recalcitrant youth and therefore sealing the fate of the Jedi Order. After a career in mocking future Jedi, if not Jedi Masters, was deemed to be a failure, the Clone Wars started and Greedo applied for a job with the local thug, Jabba the Hutt, where he was sent to kidnap Chairman Papanoida's daughters, Che Amanwe and Chi Ikwa. It all kind of went to hell, however. Greedo was at one point bludgeoned by an idol by one of them and got his green blood on it, apparently, which is kind of gross. Then he escaped with Che Amanwe to Tatooine, but the Pantorans tracked Che down and killed a bunch of Greedo's friends while Greedo bravely ran away. Later, for comic book reasons, Jabba sent Han Solo and Greedo to work together to steal an urn. He wanted them to earn their living. But that also went to hell for Greedo, and despite him shooting Han in the chest, Han lived and punched Greedo out because he wasn't allowed to kill him yet, because it wasn't episode 4 yet, and it was just a comic book after all. After stumbling around for a while like a filthy casual, Greedo was desperate and looking to make a score. He discovered that Han was in the Mos Eisley Cantina, rushed over to talk to his old friend, and was turned into some version of charcoal by Han, shooting him as soon as he could. George Lucas would later try to help Greedo look cooler by missing a shot at Han point blank, but he only succeeded in pissing off the entire fan base, including the people who made subsequent movies, who have unilaterally refused to agree that Greedo shot first. To this day, it's one of the dumbest decisions Zareth has had the privilege of observing. And yet, because of this debate, George has at the very least accomplished one thing, elevating the name of Greedo to the point that even my sister who hates Star Wars knows who he is. The question then becomes, does Greedo live up to his legend in Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes? For the most part, the answer is yes. Greedo can theoretically kill any character besides maybe Rey or Lord Vader or Jedi Master Kenobi or Jabba or Supreme Leader Kylo. Okay, basically any galactic legend in the game via infinite shot potential. The potential is there, but it rarely pans out. And yes, this is 7 shots in a row by Greedo, and yes, I'm just looping it over and over to make it kind of look like he shoots infinitely. Beyond his theoretical value, Greedo struggles to work well with any team in PvP, PvE, or any other letter preceded by PV. He is, in theory, useful to help you get a prestigious quest, but that just means you have to use Greedo 500 times or more. Probably not the best choice, or the most engaging for that matter. His Zeta can be interesting since it lets him stun someone for a turn without a potency check, but on a cooldown of 4, it isn't going to be usable again very soon. Simply put, there are better options for Greedo. Many better options, like basically all of them. He is required as a Relic 6 unlock for Jabba and has the Hutt Cartel tag now, so he's able to be used as an eccentric 5th member of a meta team if that's what you're into. We'll see how he is in the new Crate Dragon raid. I'm not too optimistic for his chances, though maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need him to sacrifice himself, kind of like Rose. We will see. In 3v3, you can use him as a last-ditch option for a Han-Chewie team, which kind of channels that Jabba mindset from their shared past in the comic books. Based on his leadership, it gives them extra crit damage, which isn't the very best thing that they want, but they do want it, so if you're using all the other characters that can be his lead, that can be decent choice. Finally, his best use, besides testing the structural integrity of the various benches he will no doubt be riding, is that he can be used on a Jabba team to auto the Sith raid. My buddy Fatal has a video on it if you're interested. Link is in the video description. So, does Greedo meet expectations or exceed them? I'm tempted to believe that perhaps Greedo does exceed them. After all, he kills the Sith raid, helps you unlock Jabba, and makes Han look like a hero early on in the first movie. In life, he was an annoying pest, getting his blood on things like idols and the hands that hit him. In death, he annoyed Wooher the bartender, who had to oversee his cleanup. In game, he was annoying as a Relic 6 requirement we didn't want. Greedo has always dreamed of being famous, and now he is, as the weight of the fanbase's displeasure continues to press in on him. His early years saw him punched out by Anakin, and his finale saw him die to Anakin's eventual son-in-law. What do you think of Greedo? Let me know in the comments, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.